We are Hubdrive. Our vision is to empower people and organizations in HR management.
Hello, my name is Konstantin Weber. I'm working for Hubdrive, and today I would like to give you an introduction into Rollup Update 39. First, we have a look at our agenda. In the beginning, I will show you how to find the documentation regarding the F&O integration. I will talk about the complete translation of HR for Dynamics. That means we did, we reworked the translation of English, German, and French. In that roll-up, we did a complete process documentation of our description of the flows and workflows we have in our solution. We did a lot of work in back-end programming. That means, keeping up with the standard of Microsoft. In the last step, I will talk about the important product bugs and stabilizations and some bug fixes there. And in the last point, I will give you a preview of the next roll-ups regarding the OKR 1.3 version and our new learning module. First of all, here is the release notes. They are online, and we have here some important information. First of all, the recruiting portal changes. That means we add their improvements regarding the HTML errors of the recruiting portal. And here I would like to give you two options. First option, if you have customizations regarding JavaScripts in your portal, you should follow this guideline, recruiting portal changes after update to the Rollup Update 39, because otherwise you will lose your customizations. If you don't have major customizations, so as I mentioned, that means some JavaScript changes, you can just install the latest version of the recruiting portal. And then you have that improvements of that bug fix. Second important point, the update, so the installation process of 39 has been changed. That means by importing the solution via the package deployer, there changed an option from override customization to do not override customization. That has, first of all, a benefit. We don't override your customization with our rollup, but on the other hand, that means that some potential improvements from Rollup Update 39 or some update 40 and later, you won't get these improvements because it's not override your customization. So that means some areas or some points where you have some customizations, we won't touch it in the future. So that keep an eye on it. So next point, the Dynamic 365 Human Resources F&O integration. So you can find our F&O documentation inside under dynamicshrmanagement.com. You click on e-learning. Under technical resources, you find the F&O integration. Here is the complete documentation of the F&O integration in written form, and you will find some technical documentation. You will find how to bulk synchronization the existing data. You find some setups, and you find supported processes, for example. So if you are interested in the F&O integration, I highly recommend it to read our documentation. Next point is the complete translation of HR for Dynamics. So as you know, you have the option to enter the language under personalization settings, and here you can change the language. Just as a hint for you, don't be confused if something is named in the other way. We changed it. For example, the naming of the labels. Just be informed of it. The next improvement is the process documentation. I will show you how to find it. First of all, the workflows, you go to Advanced Settings. Here you find the processes. And here are all supported, for example, all supported workflows. Yeah. So first of all, we want to, I give you an introduction how to find it. For example, let's have a look in the workflow absence approval. So by clicking on it, you find under administration now a detailed description of the workflow. By beginning of so by now, you know, or if you are interested in, you now find a detailed description. What is this workflow doing? How when it's a float, how it's been triggered, for example, and yeah, what's could be the result of it. Yeah. To find the flow description, just go to make.powerapps.com. You can now back to the solutions. So here you find the entry Dynamics HR Management Flows. By clicking on the flow, you have all flows. For example, here's Cloud Flow here, carry forward leave entitlement on department. By clicking on the flow, you find now the concrete description of the flow. As I said, for example, how it's been triggered, or what's the impact of it, and yeah, some other important informations. If you are, for example, an IT person or an HR manager who wants to know, what's how it's been working, and yeah, you find it there. So okay. So keeping up to date with the standard of Microsoft, that means that just as the Rollup 38, we did again a lot of backend programming, and it's just an information for you that we again, working in the back end to be in the standard of Microsoft. Important bug fixes and stabilizations. So we again solved some product bug fixes and some improvements there. There was, for example, an error regarding the daily summaries. They reflect now if an employee is terminated. The activation of an applicant record due to the duplicate detection. There were an issue regarding the missing business process flow. This is now available, the HR Hub recruiting new position, business process flow. From until are logged on an ad hoc absence in phase 1. This is now solved. The substitution decision on leave requests is now shown to the employee, substitute, supervisor, and HR manager. The carry forward leave entitlement on department error with the child flow is now fixed, and there were an issue regarding talent search. By accessing the talent search or to run when you wanted to run the talent search, there was sometimes an error, and it appears I is undefined. This will not happen anymore right now. Okay. Now, I would like to give you a preview of the next Rollup updates. That means by Rollup Update 41, there will become a massive improvement regarding the OKR version, also the OKR app, and the new training module. Let me show you what's meant by that. First of all, I would like to introduce you to the training plan, or the training module. So we added some new entities, for example, the training plan, the learning module, and exam. So we created a complete new structure. At the very beginning, we have, for example, the training plan, and the training plan consists of some trainings, or it has some trainings. Let me show you something. For example, we have the training plan, let's call it base onboarding. So inside the base onboarding, we have trainings included. So this training plan can also have child training plans, for example. So you can build a complete tree, a training tree. And for example, in the training about Hubdrive, you have, for example, you can add some learning content. You can also add an exam, which you can pass, for example, or you have to pass to complete this training. And one training can have several learning modules, for example. Learning modules are the smallest piece of content inside that new training module. And for example, that about Hubdrive overview onboarding, this is from the type template. It has some specifications. It has also a learning content path inside. You can also add directly content in that learning module. For example, you can add some achievable skills. You can add, of course, yeah, some so this is an many-to-many relationship. So that means you can add this learning module direct to other trainings, for example. And we have the difference between template and usage. So usage means that this learning module or this complete training plan, so this type is in training plan, training and learning module. And this is the difference is if it is enrolled. Enrolled means that your employee has access to this training plan. And by changing it to usage, this will be done automatically. Your participant or your trainee is enabled to track his progress depending on the type. For example, you have the type now, for example, e-learning, self-learning, and your trainee has to track his progress on his own. But on the other hand, there might be learning modules which needs to be tracked by the trainer because it's an on-site session, for example. And the trainer needs to say if you are participated or not. And then the automatic progress will be tracked there, right? So this is something which is also part of the new training plan. It also contains exams. So you can link some training plans or trainings with an exam. And this exam, for example, is also being tracked by the examiner. Yeah. That means you now have, for example, you can add there some types, for example, and yeah, you can specify the language, you can add exam content, and so on. Yeah. Let's move to, so we are now jumped into settings. I would like to go back to the training plan. So we have here different views, but as I mentioned, this is also it's only in the beta version, so we have there a lot of tests. So now one word to the training plan itself. You can also link concrete content in the training plan. You can add certificates, for example, and for example, the duration is also automatically calculated. So that means when you have a training plan and you have some trainings and a lot of learning modules, you can now, by accessing the concrete training plan, how long it takes to go through that training plan. Yeah. You also, for example, let's now do it the usage. This progress here is also automatically calculated out of the trainings and, for example, the exam. Yeah, so that means the progress is from the bottom learning module, then it comes to the training automatically calculated, and then it calculates me the concrete progress of the training plan. So we also add a new entity called the Enrollment Center. Within that Enrollment Center, you can enroll a specific training plan to an employee. Yeah, that means when it's enrolled, this field employee will be filled, and now your employee gets access to it by also changing the owner, for example. Okay, good. So far, so good to the training plan or to the new learning training module. Now I will showcase you the new things regarding OKR 1.3. We added a new entity called KPI, Key Performance Index. That means we now can, so we can now track a new entity or the progress of that KPI. The difference is that you can have, so instead of the key result, you can have only 100% of progress. The KPI has the idea to have more than 100%. For example, you are in the sales department and your goal is to sell, for example, some stuff for 100,000 euros. So, of course, when you are a good salesperson, you can sell more than 100,000. So that means that you can have more than 100% for sure. We add now the calculation of the progress is done by the initial value, current value, and target value. That means you have an initial value. For example, a salesperson starts every quarter with zero, with numbering of zero of the value, and it has a target. So that means, for example, the target is 100,000 euros. Now, when a salesperson sell the product, he will gain more and more money, and he has to put in and he has to put the current value. And out of the current value, it makes me the progress regarding the target. For example, I have the initial value of 0. That is just an example. We have an initial value, we have a current value, and a target value. So now I would say I have a current value of 4 regarding the target. I save it, and now I have the full 100%, and I have the achievement level of gold. So now I can say I have more than the target. For example, now I have 5. So now I have the progress of 125%, and I have a new achievement level. This is also an improvement which we added to the KPI entity. The achievement level, the platinum achievement, is set to when you have more than 100%. Yeah. The confidence level is also part of the KPI. We also added the KPI type if it is a success indicator or an early indicator. That means if it's a sales, a person can have, for example, an early indicator called do 100 calls to a customer, for example, then he can track it with the initial value, current value, and target value. And you can have success indicators, for example, gain money at the end of the day. Yeah, there you can see can have also a difference in it. You can link it to a parent KPI, for example, and you can add the KPI to an objective, and of course to a goal. Yeah, that at the end of the day you have also the complete value tree of the OKR module. Okay, good. So This was the introduction to Rollup Update 39 and the preview to the next rollups. Of course, there will be some more content inside the newest rollups, but these are some of the major improvements there. Have a great day. See you.